This concerto has always been one of my favorites. The first time I heard it was with Midori's recording when, she was 18 or 19 or something. That was my introduction to the Dvořák concerto, and I really loved it. So it was one of the first concertos I learned once I got to Juilliard. I think I may have been about 11 or so. And I think I played my student recital with playing that piece. So I'm really, really excited about this. It was neglected, I think, for a while, generally speaking. It wasn't like the Mendelssohn or Tchaikovsky concerto where you will see it every season, right, by somebody all over the world. But I think Dvořák has really come back, as one of the true staples of the violin repertoire, and I think it deserves that place. It's a piece that really takes you through everything, emotionally speaking. I think there is that typical kind of Dvořák. I don't know if I want to say sentimentality, but I think there is an element of that in his music. I mean, he's just so deeply attached to his roots as a Czech composer, and he loved the countryside, he loved nature, and I think you can hear that in this music. The first movement is very dramatic, it's very passionate, and it starts with kind of this triumphant, orchestral opening, followed by a virtuosic violin solo intro, and then it takes you through a very kind of internal, intimate place at some point in the middle of the piece, and then it kind of segues into, well, then it gets dramatic again and segues into this, as I said before, this kind of like forest world, which I absolutely adore, and then the last movement is just full of these traditional dance-like elements. Even for somebody who listens to it for the first time, I think they can end up humming that theme by the end of the last movement, because it's something that's really just so catchy in a way, and wonderful, wonderfully exciting to listen to. For me in general, I've always come from a place of storytelling. That's how, as a younger violinist, when I was younger, this is how I related to whatever music I was playing, and so I would literally come up with a story, storyline. I worked very much with imagery, and so I think that approach is still in me, even though, unlike when I was a child, I don't actually write out, like a storybook to go with the music. But I think there's always an emotional narrative, and that's what I'm most interested in any music, because I think that's what everybody connects to, no matter what background you come from, no matter what culture you come from, and I think when we say music is a universal language, I think this is what we're talking about, is actually the emotionality, the connection that everybody can recognize as the emotional component in the music. So from that point of view, I do have my own memories of playing this piece as a child, and how this piece made me feel, and what images I had as a kid. And I do think with this piece, what I relate to the most is the love of nature. So sometimes an audience member takes away exactly what you intended to express, and other times it really depends on where one is in that moment, with themselves or whatever. And I find it so interesting, just the multidimensionality of music and its capacities to speak to people in such different ways.